All right, shalom, shalom. Want to start by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachahakodash. Double honor to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone who do the well. Peace and salutations to the Akim doing the work in truth and in sincerity across the four corners of the earth. This is your brother Amawan Ariala with the GMS Miami Heralds Camp. Okay, pretty much coming at you with another lesson. Hey, things are getting real crazy out here. All right, a lot of the conspiracy theories that we thought, that a lot of people think weren't true, are actually coming to pass. Okay, so now there's rumors about, DJ DJ Trump, right, Nero 47, wanting to go for a third term, and how they're going to try to circumvent or go around the Constitution. Okay, which shows you that the spirit the Lord is dealing with Trump, and more so to bring, this world to this society to its knees for the most part. Okay, he's squeezing the American people. He's very emotional when people don't like or approve of him. Like we just, I don't know if you saw, but there was a video that was done, by him, right? King Trump, right? Because that's the energy he's been pushing out. King Trump, King Trump. This is the whole reason for the No Kings protest, all right? Because he wants to put himself in the position as a king, sort of like how you got Kim Jong Un in North Korea, Putin in Russia, all right? These guys are perpetual presidents or perpetual dictators, and they pass it on from one to another. But through the Spirit, the Lord is going to allow this to happen, hopefully in order to bring about chaos and destruction, okay? To incite the people to want to riot and go against their government because they're going to feel jaded, they're going to feel, cheated. All right. A lot of people don't want Trump to continue to be president. So if he does get another term, then, a lot of people are going to be in an uproar. All right. This country is going to be in an upheaval because these things are not getting better; they're getting worse day by day. Okay, so real quick, I wanted to go into a precept here in the book of Isaiah, chapter 10, and we can grab verse 1. It says, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees." Right, for you to be able to say that you're going to be the next president, all right, without a vote. This is according to American standards, right? All right, that's not a right thing, man. you know, so he's doing these things, to incite sedition and things of that nature. But it says, "Woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees." All right, taking away the food stamps from a lot of families that really do need it. Yeah, you have women that are on it and really abusing it, but you do have families that actually are below the poverty line and they need those types of benefit programs to help them. If not, they're gonna go hungry. Your family's gonna go hungry. You're gonna have people living on the streets because they can't afford to pay, for their home and food, right? You're going to have people who only make a certain amount every month who need Section 8, and they may bring these programs back, but Lord willing, these things start to ramp up and intensify, okay? Because when Jake don't get nothing to eat, man, Jake gets real fucked up, and we saw these videos of these women talking about how they're gonna, go into the stores and just run out with the food, all right? And shit, if they know you got it, they might run up in your crib and come get it, okay? So we're seeing that, these things are starting to, build up. People's emotions are starting to go wild. Okay, the scripture talks about let me see if I can find that. But real quick, yeah, let me find that real quick. The Bible talks about how the love of many people, all right, shall wax cold. All right, people are not going to have any love, all right, for each other. Matthew 24:12, it says, "And because of iniquity, which is a condition of sin upon sin, shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that endureth unto the end, the same shall be saved." So we're seeing that the Lord is causing these tumultuous times because we know our salvation is nearer than what we believe. And this is just on one end. We're not even talking about all the digital ID. We're not even going into the wars that are brewing up in Venezuela and the wars that are brewing up in the Middle East, as if those things are resolved. We still have that conflict with Israel and Palestine going on over there, man. Okay, so this is far from over. All right, but when you go back to Isaiah 10:2, it says to turn aside the needy from judgment, okay, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. And this is what's going on. All right, people are getting robbed. Our people are, we're just in a fucked up situation right now. All right. But the hope that elect has, like I said, Matthew 24:12. All right. But he that shall endure, because you got to be able to endure all these hard times that are about to happen. All right. Unto the end. It says the same shall be saved. So we know we're looking for the salvation of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, and all we want to do is just endure. Okay. So let me get this real quick. Let me play this video. Slovakia.
So Trump 28, Trump is going to be president in 28, and people just ought to get accommodated with that.
So what about the 22nd Amendment?
There's many different alternatives. At the appropriate time, we'll lay out what the plan is, but there's a plan. We had longer odds in 16 and longer odds in 24 than we got in 28. And President Trump will be the president of the United States, and the country needs him to be president of the United States. We have to finish what we started. Trump is a vehicle. I know this will drive you guys crazy, but he's a vehicle of divine providence. He's an instrument. He's very imperfect. He's not churchy, not particularly.
You know what he said? Trump is the vehicle of divine providence, which I can agree with that, right? Because the Lord has put the spirit on this guy to be a fucking tyrant, man. The Lord put on this dude to be a cruel Lord and a cruel king. As a matter of fact, let's get this. The book of Isaiah 19:3. Okay, 19:4. I'll start at verse 3. It says, "And the spirit of Egypt, which we know to be America, aka Babylon, shall fail in the midst thereof." Right? So the mindset of America is being uh, uh, confounded. Right? These people don't know what's going on. It says, "And I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards." We know the elites. This is what they do, man. They're having relationships with these different dark spirits, and really the Lord is the one that's controlling both sides. Okay, to influence their minds to do what the Lord wants them to do. Okay, but at some point those spirits are going to stop dealing with Esau, and he's just gonna be in the dark. All right, so this is verse 4. It says, "And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord of hosts." So we know this is happening now. Okay, he doesn't care about the young or old. We're like in the beginning of Jacob's trouble. With the northern tribe being thrown in jail by ICE agents and things of that nature, and now they're going after regular Jakes in the streets. Okay, so this is a cruel Lord, man. He doesn't have any sympathy. He doesn't have any remorse. So let me finish playing this video real quick.
Religious, but he's an instrument of divine will, and you can tell this of how he's pulled this off. We need him for at least one more term, right? And he'll get that in 28.
You're not driving me crazy. I'm trying to understand on the one hand, you've said the Constitution is fit for purpose. Secondly, you've said that President Trump needs another term, even though the 22nd Amendment makes pretty clear that he cannot have another term.
Why does it make that clear?
Because he's on his second term already.
At some point in time, we will make sure we go through Zanny and define all those terms.
But you will be undermining the spirit of that amendment, even if you find some way around it.
If the American people, with the mechanisms we have, put Trump back in office, are the American people tearing up the Constitution? Would that be tearing up?
Well,
would the American people be going against the spirit of the Constitution, ma'am?
I think yes, actually, because I think what you will end up with is a populist justification for a quasi-dictatorship.
That's not true at all.
That's what it sounds like.
It's not. Trump is a dictatorship. Did you just see the compromises he had to make on the big, beautiful bill? You see the compromises he has to do on everything, on accommodating Zelensky, on what President Trump. President Trump is nothing but a series of negotiations to kind of keep this thing rolling forward, where he's having trade-offs all the time.
Steve, you've just spent the last 20 minutes telling me we have to smash the other side. There's no room for debate. There's no room for compromise. We must smash them. And now you're telling me this is a negotiation. I mean, that's
no.
I guess that's why it seems to me some kind of tension there.
First off, the only way President Trump wins in 2028 and continues to stay in office is by the will of the American people, okay? And the will of the American people is what the Constitution embodies. And so I think we're going to be in good hands there. We need to finish what we started.
And there it go, man. All right. Esau already has in his mind that he has to push out that chip. He has to finish World War III. Okay. So that hey, shit about to get real spicy out here, man. So with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Hashem Rechah HaKodash, for a wilderness that's was edifying, double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone who do well. Peace and salutation to the elect and the brothers that's doing the work in truth and in sincerity. To you all, I say shalom.